We're up to about 30 here, so I think we might actually be starting to drive over some liquid. We'll add another half. Taking us to the 0.8 mark on the syringe, so about 2.5 milliliters. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell, but I think I might be seeing a little bit of a drop liquid on there. We're nice and stable. We're at about 171. That's enough. Nice and warm in there. Definitely rising. We're a little over 30 now. Another half mil. I'm definitely starting to see some liquid condensing around the sides there. And this is rising up to 40, so we should start seeing some distillate collecting fairly soon. Definitely a nice drop there. You can see it just dropped off, maybe. If the camera's pointing at the right angle, you can. I don't know if you can make out with the camera that the sides here are definitely condensing liquid, and there was another drop. So we're rising pretty steadily. I haven't seen anything drip off here yet, but we're definitely dripping off the bottom of the thermometer. A little hard to tell because it's so cloudy with air bubbles in there, but we'll definitely see this fill up. So I'm going to add another half. Take this down to 7, so we've added 3.5 now. And this thermometer is going up. That one's nice and stable at 171. See that there's a little bit of liquid in there now, so we're definitely starting to distill, but nothing dripped in. Another half mil in. Liquid in here, but obviously this has to fill before it can start going down and dripping into the vial. Dripping off the top there, getting close to 70. I haven't wrapped this with glass wool, so that's actually being cooled by the airflow. And we'll add another half. You can see a bubble there of liquid trying to go down the condenser. We'll stable at 171 on the entire area. We seem to be fluctuating a little bit up there. So this time I'm going to add another milliliter. Add that a little faster. That should get this to distill a little bit more. And you can see that that had the effect of raising that temperature up. And you're full of liquid in there now. Still haven't seen anything drip off the tip. It does look like there's some liquid sitting there. We'll add another milliliter. See if that shoots that temperature up above 70 again. Yep. Coming up to about 73 when I add the extra. And there's definitely a drip ready. Yeah, another mill. Another 0.1 mil, sorry. And I've been saying milliliter, half milliliter, I meant 0.05, and when I've been saying 1 milliliter, I meant 0.1. The 1 milliliter syringe, not a 10 mil syringe. You can see there's some liquid collecting now, definitely dripping. This temperature seems to want to be at about 74 on the entire interior thermometer. We'll add another 0.1. Liquid is collecting. Hopefully not spilling down the side. A little surface tension is kind of pulling it up against the side. Definitely likes to sit at about 74 as it's distilling over. So I'm going to add another 0.1. And sitting between 74 and 75 as the liquid is actually coming. And I think we expect a little less than 0.9 grams of the distillate. Density is a little less than 1. So we're going to add my last 0.1. Just open that up and squirt it down again. You can see that some of that liquid is actually being driven up the needle. Just make sure I push out the last of that liquid. Now we're going to wait until it stops dripping there and this temperature drops down, which will be our indication that we've distilled over everything that's going to distill over. Obviously there's a drip on the thermometer, there's a little bit on there. which I'll try to collect by tilting this before I disassemble it. I don't really need to know the temperature inside the block anymore. It's been 170 the whole time, up to 172. So we'll put that away so we don't break it in the disassembly process. It's dropped to 68. I don't really see the liquid condensing here anymore, but it is still warm on the side. Looks like that drop is still there. Once it drops down to about 60, I will conclude that it's distilled over everything that it's going to distill. Volume seems about constant. It's at 62. I think it's probably done. I'm going to disconnect this, pull out the glass wool. Set those aside. And now what I'm going to do is kind of just lift this up and pull that out so it can start cooling. That guy off, unplug it. And I want that little bit of liquid there. I'm going to unscrew this. I can turn off my water. And I'm going to try to carefully loosen that. And tip it up. Made a little difficult by the iron ring. Tip that up like that to get the liquid out. There's a little bit in there too. Definitely losing a little bit in the collection process. That's it. See if we can get that little drip. By tilting this guy. Oops. That's about all we're going to get, I think. So we can go get a mass. It's a little less than 1 milliliter. Those readings are not that accurate. So we're now at 19.895 grams. 19.895. And we will cap that up and put the label on it. Oops. Making sure the Teflon side is down toward the product. And that liquid is 47A. And that'll store in the freezer. I have the GC mass spec started up. So tomorrow or later can be ready for getting GC mass spec data on this guy. A little bit of parafilm. Go ahead and cut 2 pieces because we know we're going to be sealing up that other vial as well. Store that in the freezer as well. Now we're just waiting for that to cool because I'm going to pull that stir bar out before